Here we are. It's Friday night. Everyone's streaming. So here, why not me? How's it going, everyone? Oh, hey, forgot I've got Twitch open here or something, so I can hear myself echoing back. Well, that means I'm on, so that's good. That's a good sign. So let's. I wanted to open up the just the chat window, so let's go to that. Me channel, please. Switching, and that way I can keep this. Oh, there's the chat. Boom. How's everyone doing tonight? So, yeah, I'm catching up with. Well, I really haven't even started. I'm just kind of like gonna be going in cold to see what I did yesterday, and hopefully you don't have to keep listening to this. Hold on. There we go. That's better. Um, I'm gonna pull up as usual. We'll pull up Discord and go live there as well. Live a stream. Wait, that's not the one. It's the one with the speaker on it. There we go. Hey, everybody, it's streaming again. It's Friday night, and yeah, doing all right. It's been a week. Before I stream everything, I guess I'll close everything. Let's see. I don't need to read. Oh, I was gonna fix a gatekeeper thing, but I don't need that right now. So I can green screen without a green screen. Yes, the camera's a little lower today. I'm not mounting it on my tablet like I usually do. It's a little lower so that I can see all the screens. I have this like, there's a perfect medium. I know I'm gonna figure it out. But I want this, I can also do like a gap between the screens, but I kind of like having the continuum. It's nice. As we do, we like that, you know. So let's see. Hey, Discordians, I should screen my share, but I've got to, let's see, I was taking notes. Oh, I realized yesterday, that's one of the things we're going to see is if you looked at my stream from yesterday, which you probably didn't, but if you did, I was going over in rapid fire manner and with a lot of breaks, all the stuff that pertained to starting up and getting the form built for this custom editor. So it's a pretty fun process. But in the process, after I went over all that, I went and had a shower and was contemplating the whole thing, and it came over me that I realized, hey, you know, I don't need this flag. There's some other ways I can work around this, and I realized what they were. So I'll talk about that in a moment. But let me get set up here so I can include the Discordians if they want to join in at 6:30 on Friday evening. Of course, who wants to, right? Let's see, what have I got open here? Got my editor open, got my Marlin open. Good. Config INI, which we'll talk about a little. Let's see, I don't need that. Okay. Getting set up for Discord. You get to watch the sausage being made here as I get this set up. And I also have this other window open to Auto Build. Let's not do that, that's complicating things. And I have another window open to Marlin as well. We're going to put that away. In fact, I'd like to just quit Sublime and see if I can get away with not using it for the whole evening. I think there was one reason I liked having it, which was I could look at the configs in text at the same time and just switch over, but we'll see how much that matters. Okay, in this old session, of course we got our terminal. Just grabbing the latest code from the upstream on my laptop and cleaning up some things here in Edit View and Editor. Okay, so cool. Lots of logging, of course. I don't know what's going on without logging. It's nice to be able to see how it's all coming together. So, okay. Discord, I think we're ready to, it's safe to share my screen with you guys. Like, don't have any confidential emails open or anything like that. As usual, we're having a strong French roast coffee. And nothing else. I'm like the Elliot Sharp of code. There's an obscure reference for you. But we're going to do some things. And let me just make triply sure that my microphone and audio devices are all. Input is the Logitech Brio. I can use the audio. This is a better one. I'll use the audio on my lapel. You can hear me better. And then for output, I guess it would be interesting if I used the C32 screen for my output. I also have one where I can change the volume. They all sound, what? USB audio device. I don't know why it's making a sound like it should be going out of the output that this is, but it's always coming from here, which is weird. Anyway, I can see that my voice is audible. Good. I always have to check this. And then as far as voice settings go, input sensitivity, it's not even a problem. Oops, except I just left. Hold on. There. Reaffirming screens. All right. Again, sausage. Okay. Who's up for a little code? I am. I know that. This is my raison d'être for being, as it were, and my raison d'être for being this and raisin toast. Okay, and again, here we are in this channel. Everything seems to be set up good, well, and good. All right. The only thing I miss is I don't have the tablet here for chat, which is like a little bit, it's kind of helpful because I can see the chat at the same, let me go grab that. At the same time I can check and make sure that the little RoboVac hasn't gotten stuck somewhere. And yeah, we'll get into all this code. Be right back. Where's tablet? Okay, I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. Let's see. Yeah, I got a plenty of a power. Yes, I am alive. Hello, chat. There you are. Okay, that's much more in my face than usual. I'm getting better at this setup. Slightly better with this setup here. But you know, big old boom mic, the whole deal, the funny, brightly colored, rimmed glasses and all that. I'm not going to do that, thanks. Because it gets in the way of my coding. I'd be bumping my head on the microphone all the time. But I don't know, if I go that way, you can laugh at me later. Okay, so what are we coding today? Well, I already have some of this in place, so this will be pretty interesting. Let's see. Of course, I've been going for this centered look here in the editor, which I like. But to make it easier for you guys to see it, I guess I'll keep the sidebar open and kind of make it wide enough for my fat head to fit in there. There we go. So you'll see more of the code and the things that matter. And we're going to be doing reduction of this form. It's like really enormous and long right now. So we're going to Yeah, I got something that claims to be Amazon in text message. This is stupid. You get these. You've seen them. Uh, we suspend due to unusual activity, it says. But it's Amazon dash blah 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 blah. They would send it by a different way. Login attempt blocked from Chrome. Let's see. Oh, free service, something XPRS website. Please click this link. How about I don't? That's really funny. They think you'll fall for that. I mean, maybe some people will. If I get really senile and stuff, they'll prey on me. They will. Don't let me get senile, people, more than I already am. Okay. Okie dokie. So, let's get into the next thing. Yes, hiding as much stuff as we possibly can. In fact, I should silence this thing. This is stupid. Buzz at me if you need anything. Okay. Oh, it's funny, I have an Unreal Tournament button ready on my Stream Deck, ready to go in case we want to play some Unreal Tournament, which I might need to before long, just to limber up. You probably enjoy that more here on Twitch, right? Here on Twitch. So, yeah, you're going to be mostly looking at my graying beard and up my nose while I do this. But I will try to keep it light and keep it informative as we go. Because I really tried to do that yesterday, like just basically give the, you know, without too many breaks as I'm doing now, the details of what's going on with the code itself. And to give some sense of how it's structured. But I may not have gone over it in the most methodical way. But that's the great thing about video. You can always pause and rewind and try to figure out what I meant. So we'll go from there. So here we are again, back at the file pile. And if you remember, I was showing you, I went through extension.js, showed you how that loaded abm.js in and initialized its handlers for commands and such. And then basically it just sets up the handlers for things to happen. But then at that point, once everything's set up, it's sort of sitting idle waiting for you to do things. And that's the way these apps tend to work. It's not sitting in a loop so much, although there's like an event loop that each JavaScript app in each window is doing. And that little loop is sort of like simulating what you would have in like an interrupt style environment or whatever, a threading style environment, but it's all simulated under a single loop. It's rather strange, but I think they're getting more. There's a way to sort separate tasks now, web workers or something like that. So yeah, you can set aside these workers to do things. So that's kind of a neat thing that's coming along. Of course, in this environment, you don't need anything like that. We just load them up and we let everything retain everything. So I kind of was trying to get the gist as I was going through, winging it, trying to figure out how, for example, for our editor, which gets started up by the process of opening up one of those files, like just the flow that it has, what it does, and then give a sense for you guys of what the scope is of, say, when this HTML is actually being loaded. It's not the scope of this here file where it's being generated, where it actually is here. It's actually in the scope of the view, and not necessarily this JS file. Well, this JS file is also in the same scope, and so yeah, that's kind of the thing. There's these scopes, and so I tried to make it a little more clear by putting things that are in the scope of views inside this JS folder. Although I did also include some JStepper and jQuery. Those would probably be better in something like, well, I guess it makes sense. These are also included in web pages for the views. So, and the stuff that's outside is more of the handlers of things, ABM.js, editor.js, and so forth. So I moved the pref stuff yesterday to prefs.js and to make it a little smaller. That was just one of the things. And you saw me clean up module exports and just take a reference and turn it into M and do it that way. I noticed that you can just say exports apparently, and that might be fine in some cases. Apparently, when you are loading a module, it's like window, you're in the context of the module. Don't quote me on that. But it's sort of like you can always just refer to the module, or you could just refer to anything in the module. But it's safer, at least for this case. But I did find that one of the other things only referred to exports, which was weird. Anyhow, it's cleaned up considerably. So we were going over, at this point, the WebView.js and how it was built to form. And in the process, I was doing a little tweaking of that and demonstrating a little bit how it worked. So at this point, we have, yeah, I know I can't find a good emoji for extruder. If you can think of a better one than the poo pile emoji, let me know. But I find that funny. But this has different types of extruders that are mutually exclusive of each other and so forth. And so again, this it's the weakness of the interface. You can see, oh, there are certain things which if you enabled them, they would have to disable other things, but that's not expressed anywhere in the configuration file. This is knowledge that we have from either, and it's only expressed as a sanity check or something like that. It'll say if, more than one of these things is enabled, there's actually a many setting, which I forgot about. If many of these are enabled, more than one, then it will throw an error and say, oh, you can't have both of those enabled at the same time. Oh, see that? The scroll changed when I changed that thing. Oh, that's so annoying. But I can undo, thankfully. There is an undo here. And undo, how does that work? I forget. I guess it probably sends the text of the undo. Oh. I think it probably does. So yeah, you're getting all kinds of messages about, what was undone and how was it undone. Like if I did an undo, I would definitely have to go back through the text because my data structure would then be out of sync. So I got to look at how undo. I don't think I get a notification about undo. It would be interesting if I did. Then it would mean I'd have to keep a history of changes, which I wouldn't look forward to. I mean, you can do it by doing like just saving the whole structure each time, which would suck. I wouldn't want to do that. You can certainly do that, but you want to save some kind of diff, basically. So yeah, I don't want to get into those kinds of complications. I kind of see why getting the text is such a good thing. I'm thinking mostly of the case of like when you have more than one, 2 or more, whatever, editors open. Oh yeah, so one of the things I did run into, which was that if you had multiple, if you did a split of the view, as you do, say down, you had an issue where, of course, you got multiple views open to the same thing, and so if I was doing this little hack to ignore update messages, because I already have the data, then I should, then this thing will, one will get the message when something changes, but the other one won't when something changes. And so it's like, yeah, it works in this case, but it doesn't work in this case. The later one, because the flag only considers one document. So I was thinking about that, and I was thinking, well, maybe there's a way each of these web views can have an ID, and it can know it's like where it falls in the creation list. And then anytime one goes away, it can be. I guess there's actually a way that it can notify that it went away. Like it can actually have that data and say number 2 went away, and so on. And then it can just reuse the elements, or it could just have a unique ID or whatever, like use a dictionary key. So I'm looking at how that could work, but also the fact that I don't need to do the not send message, although I was trying to do that to save time and data, but it might be I guess it's making a copy, so. But the idea was, well, I don't need to do the not send, instead I should just do the ignore on the view side. When they know they have good data, then just ignore it. And that would take care of the provider having to keep track of, that flag. Like each view can keep track of its own flag. So that's the general idea. Meanwhile, let's see. Okay, someone came and left. Good to see you. So, yeah, what's happening is, right. So meanwhile, yeah, I'm kind of trying to just do anything I can to avoid having to reparse because again, you sometimes lose the scroll, and you saw it happen once there. If you rewind, it's very quick, but I went to click something and I lost the position and I was like, oh, I want to undo that, but I clicked again and it was gone. It was not there anymore. So undo with the Command Z key does work, or Control Z. So your undo methods your normal undo redo does work, but I believe in that case, as I was saying, it sends the whole text of the file for undo redo, which makes sense. Those are operations that modify the file outside the view of the form. So pretty much anything like that is going to send over, hey, and so the form itself is like, well, anything I know about I can ignore. So that's kind of how it's going to work, is it's going to say, okay, if you just checked a box, I'm going to set my little ignore flag, and then the next message that comes in, I don't have to do my update. I can just ignore that. So that's the one place I can do it. That's one change I will make right now, which will be easy, and you can see that hopefully work. And then the question will be, well, if some other form doesn't have that flag set, then it doesn't know that, like, it's getting an edit from some external source, and so it has to refresh its form. And so if I feel like that's okay, because you won't be the one in the other tab will be, or in the other pane, will be the one you don't care if it redraws, because it won't be messing you up. So the other thing is that this flag should definitely be reliable, where the other flag definitely wasn't being reliable. So let me just look. I think, did I call it ignore? Well, I did it as a message, and I called it, yes, ignore, and I called this thing local edit. So here's what we're gonna do. Local edit, you're gone. For now, it's just gone. We'll just make it easy on ourselves. Local edit, goodbye. Local edit, same here. You will always post the update, even though it might take a little time. I don't know. It's something that our view won't have to deal with. The user won't see it. If it's something that happens in the background, hopefully it takes nothing. And then again, local edit, and here's our ignore message. Goodbye. Okay, that takes care of local edit for that. Now we're going to put it in the view. So here we have our own little flag, and let me see how it works. Do a p timer? Did I ever use that? I did. Right. So this is something that will exist for the lifetime of the form, and will only be created at the existence of the form. So there is something called self, which it turns out I never use. Interesting. Well, it's good to know that that exists, because I may need to use it to look up something like p offset. But it looks to me like it simply works by virtue of scope. I don't really need to use that. Anyway, that's JavaScript for you. So let's do this. We'll call this one local edit just to be consistent, and we'll say it's false. Or better yet, ignore update. How about that? Equals false. Just so it's very more expressive about what it does, and not necessarily about our particular one use of it so far. We might have other uses, or not. Oh, wrong view though. I should be using the edit view and not the web view. We can put this away. All right, yeah, so back here we have, again, it's funny I didn't use self in that one either. Maybe someday. All right, so the first thing I want to do, I guess, is filter, form div, let's see, I guess right here. Ignore the next update message. Simple enough. Thank you, Copilot. Again, I have Copilot helping us out today. it's pretty amazing. It's getting better all the time, it seems like, or at least it knows my code base better all the time. I wrote this whole thing with it running, so I don't know if it's like picked up a bunch of things about this, or how that all works, but it definitely feels like it knows some things at this point. All right, so I should open up the outline panel so that we can see, well, at least you can see what doesn't have my head blocking. Sorry, my mouse is misbehaving. Let's use that instead. There we go, it's a little better. Now, you don't necessarily need to see this, but the outline just gives me a quick access to everything, as you know. If you've used these things, you know. It could go anywhere. On the left, on the right. Where are we now? All right, ignoring updates. Yes, so the next time we get an update message in handle message, we get an update message. It does rebuild config form with text. Here we go. Ignore update. I guess I should do it more like, if ignore update, then do ignore update equals false. Else. Just keep it simple. Great, and that's pretty much it. That's the whole of it, because we'll get a single message. Now, the only thing is, of course, I have to set it to true somewhere. And where am I going to do that? I'm going to do it when I send a message about an update to the form. So here we've got handle edit, which does that for us, or apply value change. I'm going to remember where things are eventually. So commit change, and commit change is what I did. I kept it simple. Fields dirty equals true. What do I call it? Fields. It's kind of a dumb name. I don't know. I've been calling it info and other things. I'm trying to figure out a good name for it, but here's the fields, man. And it doesn't even send them. It just sends the reference. Well, anyway, before you post that message, true. And that's pretty much it. Maybe I should do it right here. I don't know. They feel like these go together. But yeah, that's it. I made this so that it could be a little more isolated. And yeah, the smaller the functions are, the better it seems in these languages, especially for this kind of task. Now I already have as well. Okay, so presumably that's it. Let's do a reload. Okay, and I'm just going to open up the old developer tools console so we can see anything that happens. Logging wise, loggy wise. Okay, and what do we got? So let's do, I don't know, scroll down and see if anything weird happens when I edit something. So far, so good. Oh, I forgot. Rebuild config form with text. Yeah, sure. Got a message, but it's supposed to be ignoring it, right? So it's normal that I get these messages. On did change. Got a message. Update. Blah, blah. Let's try that again. So there it is. Got a message. I might get logging it and not. well, I've got to definitely dir that sucker. Is there info about that? Object, inspect options, undefined. Interesting. Unfortunately, there's no option to like have like a little prefix on it. So let's see what that gives us. So that's pretty cool. And then if I go down later and do this, again, got a message. See, now we get the object, yay, which we can barely see. Let's just update with all the text, okay. It doesn't really give us much extra info, but if we get better messages, we'll have more info about them. So cool, I'm feeling better about some of these things. Still have to fix up some of these field edit behaviors, but great, it's not doing anything weird. Now let's see what happens when we open a second pane. This is where things get interesting. Only the one that does the edit should be the one that does the ignore, because the other one needs the new info. So, but does the form get scrolled around as a result, or does it because it reproduces in the one loop, creates the new form? Does it result in good stuff? Let's find out. Split down. Let's see. Okay. Now, I guess the easiest one to check, well, I want to scroll down a ways so we can see what happens. So let's pick switching nozzle, share servo number, which is, oh, I should probably number some of these lines. That might help. I'm going to also do the indentation. That'll be part of what we do here next as well. So let's just do this. Servo. So it only filters this one, but so I got to do the thing where the filter is per window as well, and figure out a way to, I don't know, I've got to have them like, well, that's the thing. If they have indexes or whatever, then that's easy. You just save it off, and then each one has an index. And I guess when the thing goes away, you would just like erase its old filter info. So when you come back, and also the show comments should be checked already. And the checkbox is looking weird too. What happened to that? It's supposed to be lower. Man, things are getting freaky. I kind of overlooked a couple things. Well, we'll fix them all. We'll fix them all. Anyhow, switching nozzle servo number. Right. Yay, okay. So it's working going down, which we expect. And it works the other way around. Magic. And it doesn't scroll things. Oh, yes. I think this is kind of maybe the supported and correct way to do it. Call me crazy, but I think that makes sense. I think that makes the most sense, is that you ignore it in the view that knows about its data, and then all you really have to check is, as far as other things go, like, do I have data? I was thinking, do I have data that I trust? And I was like, oh, the thing is, each one has its own data, and of course it trusts its own data, so that you can't really just use that as the way of saying, oh, well, I don't need to update because I have data that I know is up to date. Because, yeah, they're not pointing at the same data. Though they might be pointing at the same data. That would be interesting. I need to look at that, actually, real quick. Like, I'll stick a random thing on each one and see what they're, well, I can't do it there. I'll have to do it like, if created on one, and see if this data exists on the other once it starts up. Well, that's easy to do, actually, too. It's like if when I create the tab, what happens? Does it get the data, or does it gets filter, and then it gets update with all the text. Okay, so it gets the text. It doesn't get the data. So right away, it doesn't have anything like the same data. So yeah, that pretty much answers that. So each one has its own copy. So they're not in sync unless it does the thing with the text, which makes perfect sense. That should keep them in sync. As long as the change here is correct, it'll make sure that the change in the other one is correct. And I could use that as a debugging method too, which is cool. But before I do that, what happened to my checkbox, man? Did I have I had a rule about checkboxes. Let's see, margin left. Yeah, I had a rule about checkbox, so there it is. But that's the user agent. I thought I had something about checkboxes. Oh well, I can check my history because I think reveal checkbox? No. I think I might have that history somewhere. No. No. Well, I can always go back if I felt like it and really check, but I'll just refix it. I think I did just something silly, like just position relative top +2 or something like that. So it might still be around. We'll take a look. Interview. All right, we'll get some things fixed. Oh, the filter part of the conditions. That's actually going to be pretty interesting. I really want to make that entertaining for you all as well and show it in some visual way. Let's see. I mean, if I can gather the output, well, we'll do the. I think what I can do is maybe annotate the things on the form itself, and that'll help. Like we'll color them or indent them or do some other things. The dirty flag as well is one of the things I got to check. I've got to do is like mark each thing that's changed as dirty, and and then undirty it when you save, I guess, or undirty it if it notices the document is not dirty. I don't know exactly how you do it. Again, I can't track the undo. Undo is all done by refreshing all the text. It just sends the whole blob back to you, which is fine. Again, it's the rare things you don't worry about. It's more of the stuff that happens more often that I'm like, okay, if I click a form field and it jumps, that's bad. So I'm really glad that's fixed. That was annoying, really annoying, so annoying. So once again to our outline. I got to use these facilities more. I'm so used to just like winging it, man. Like, oh, there's tools now? Help me get around? Okay. So is there anything related to a checkbox here in my outline? And there's one. So anything else about checkboxes? Oh, there it is. Position relative opt input. Oh, I just made any. Well, it should just be like, I think any checkbox, shouldn't it? Let's take a look. I mean, well, maybe 2 is too much on that one, I see. But 0.2M, oh, I see. It has to do with the text size, but the thing is, I think that the label text size on this one is set by, yeah, I think it might need to be something more like, instead of 0.2M, I just need to specify pixels. Like, what if I say top 2 pixels? Better. Seems fine. I think it's probably that way. And if I change like the font sizes or whatever, well, that's just changing the zoom, so I don't know if that's the effect we're looking for, but it all works. So screw it. So yeah, and again, show comments. Why is that like that? Oh, I remember why. Filter, I think filter is being sent. And I have it set like, maybe it's in the defaults? Okay, so apply new filter. Well, that's edit view. What about this one? When it does filter, it does prefs, config comments, and then when it receives filter, it does set show comments. Oh, is it config comments? I think I changed it. It should be called show comments or something like that now. Although, kind of makes sense, or config show, or I don't know. Apparently it must be called that, because, yeah, sure enough. Show comments. Well, it's annoying, but I must not be syncing right. I must be not synchronizing it or something. Don't save, please. Oh, now it's checked. I think what's probably happening is it's not being applied. Like it goes, I'm just not applying it. I apply the filter at first startup on the view. It should be applying whatever the current setting is. So, like when it gets the filter message, set filter val. Okay, sure. I set the filter val. And then it does that, but then does it actually do the filtering? No. So I should do something like, I have apply filter, but I don't know if I have apply for hide and show. It just does like, it has its own little handler. So let's take a look at the initialization. Here we have show comments, and there it is, and it calls this thing. And let's do this. Set filter val. And hide is the target checked, and basically, of course, we want to be and also the filter needs updating. And is it that? It is this, okay. Apply new filter, give me that. Well, guess what? Right, just applies whatever is already there. It's kind of a dumb way to do it. I know. Let's see. I'm just being messy, I guess. Let's see. Okay, so filters, filter, window filters. And I guess I need to pass it on to the to be set in the config as well. So yeah. Annoying. And as you change it, does it save to state? Well, it could. I'm kind of like, is that part of the state you really care about in terms of restoring the window after it's been hidden? Yes, but no, if not, if you're getting a message about it, like also as a separate thing. So I'm kind of like torn on how to, I'm just like where to put the filter and how to maintain it. This is one of the trickier bits that I'm still trying to work out. It'll probably end up being just as simple as the other option. Like I was thinking before, like just put it on, just assign it to the, put it in the data, basically. Make it part of your data structure or whatever you're saving and state. So, we've already done that. Put it in the state. So I guess we're kind of stuck with that. But in the meantime, like, but do you want to save it as an option in, I don't know, it's just saving it off in the saving it into preferences is like the weird thing. It's like, is that necessary? I think that's probably okay. If you open a window and there's no filter on it, you're probably fine. So I think we'll probably get rid of those, and that will help save some space and time. So if we get rid of settings for those, then they're just going to be part of the state, and they're going to start out empty whenever you open a new window. But what about when you open up a new instance of the same document? Maybe if I key them by document name, that could be a thing. And then that way you get the same filter. But I think even then it's fine. They can just be they can each have their own filter. I think that makes the most sense. I mean, why have you got multiple fields if they're going to be all changing in sync, right? So let's do it. Let's do it that way. Let's do it. So we don't need that. Form div, find, comment, toggle, not show. Good. So that will happen whenever you press the thing. And then as far as sending a message off to save it in the all that, forget it. Forget it. Let's not do that anymore. No more. Bad. Init filter, goodbye. We don't want it anyway. It was a messy idea. It was always a messy idea. Filter. Get filter? Screw you. No. We're not getting no filters. We don't need no stinking filters. All we need is change. Change, and that's it. It's the only thing you're dealing with. If other things were happening in the form that were worthwhile, like you could save off as part of the thing. Like you could stick it in the document, I suppose. Put like a little search term at the bottom somewhere. But I don't want to annotate the document all over the place unnecessarily yet. I think it'd be fun to start doing that where I do want to do the thing where you can drag sections around though. I think that's going to be fun. It'll be weird though because the line numbers will change and yeah, I mean, maybe it can do it like where it saves it off all at once or I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll definitely figure that out. And also dragging sections around by itself, like that'll be weird because like all the things that are in them would have to move, like as, I don't know, be weird. But it's certainly sometimes a better way to deal with a big old blob of text. If you can drag chunks around, that would be cool. I wouldn't mind having that for code sometimes, like just give me a little handle. Oh, I'd grab this whole block. But you have to do it like this, man. It sucks. Drag and drop. Does that even work right now? Have you ever had that happen where drag just stops working? Okay, it's all good. Just look. I was expecting my pointer to change, that's why. That's all. All right, so where are we at? Getting rid of all this stupid filter stuff. So that means also we can get rid of the filter config options here in prefs. Goodbye, no more filter. That means we can get rid of them in the JSON. Okay. I wonder what happens to old config options when you're... I guess they probably looks at the JSON and says, well, these old options don't exist anymore, so I'm going to just delete them. There's probably something like that going on. Okay, so that gets rid of those. Let's find just the word filter anywhere in this whole mess. Oh boy. We'll have to come back to this. Let's do it a different way. Let's instead just go and carry on. So here, of course, I think we've gotten rid of everything we needed to get rid of related to filter here. Oh, I just want to make sure that the state is not being even looked at. Actually, come to think of it, this thing has no idea about your state. That's all done from the web view side, so good. Yeah, I think I've got the hang of this, so now. Although it is nice to see these messages, like, sometimes, to know where the other messages that follow might be related. It's like if there were bugs. But why would there be bugs? Come on. Let's just take that one out. Okay. So yeah, the config option is updated. Good. Okay, let's look for filter and see what it's doing with filter here. It initializes the config form with whatever's in there. It should be blank. Save data to state. Here we go. Data, window data, filter, goodbye. Oh yeah, we still want to keep it in the state. We'll still keep it in the state. We just don't want to send it on, like, as a preference option. Okay, that's filter, filter count, applied filter, 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 post message. Ha ha ha. No. Set filter val. Terms, show. Yeah. Message dot filter. I guess because we want to save one thing in the state, it's easier to just save the one object as dot filter, whatever. Okay, we don't get a filter externally anymore. Goodbye. State dot filter does not equal undefined. Okay, good enough. Okay, set filter val gets it from, should be at init filter val, I guess then. Nope. If there's a field, then it, so when does it ever have that? Oh, it's always true. So let's see, it wouldn't set the field for any reason because you will already have had it set. I guess I could see keeping show hide comments as preference, but screw it. We'll just show it always checked to begin with and deal with it later. Let's see, so yeah. Should have gotten it from the field and therefore, like, apply new filter to the form. Really? Apply new filters coming from when you typed it, right? Yeah. You typed it out and it, and that's what happened. Apply a new filter. We don't have to tell the provider about it. From the filter field. And as far as the target of the filter goes, Okay. Always form div, which it should be. I can't think why you'd have a filter on other things, but for now, okay, form div. So yeah, the only thing is it's setting the filter val, which is not really necessarily important. Window.filter.terms equals terms. So set filter val. I want to call that init filter val if it's the only place it's used. And then field, I guess it would have to be true. Oh yeah, and it's in the saved data, so we're all good. Like as long as you remember to always set it after it's been changed, it should be good. The only problem is that means I have to call, like, every time you change the filter, you have to call save data to state. I wonder if there's a way to like set the state directly and just skip to the filter. There might be, actually, come to think of it. Let's take a look. Even if it's not documented, maybe there's a way. Let's take a quick look and see what it's documented about it. And that one must be there. WebView API. Yeah, okay, yes. Set state. How is it documented? Is it got a link? No. Oh wait, what's this? Are the preferred way, and they have lower performance overhead than retain context when hidden. Oh. That would have been easier to use, I guess. That's the example they showed, man. I didn't know about retaining. I didn't know about it. Yeah, okay. That's interesting. But I guess if you want to do that, you might need a serializer, automatic serializer or something. Let's see what it says here. Serialization, if you do a serialization, then your web views can be automatically restored on restart. Oh. I see. That's interesting. To make our thing persist, you make an event, and then it'll be activated whenever it needs to restore a web view. And then in your activate, you get the state, I guess, the same state. And then you just have to decide what the serialization is. So you basically have to turn it into a string, unserialize, and back out. So I would almost go with like, just use the text of the file, since it's easier to deal with. Like, why serialize the JSON if you can, or it might even be smaller to just use the original text of the file. So that's kind of why what I would go for is just give me the text and we'll use that. Compare, that'd be easy to do. I'll keep that in mind. Meanwhile, this is what retain context when hidden does. With a very complex UI or state that cannot be quickly saved, you can instead use all kinds of things. It keeps its content, but in a hidden state, even when the web view is no longer in the foreground. So what happens when it does that? I see. So you create the view with retain context when hidden automatically in there. Notice how the counter does not reset when the web view is hidden and then restored. No extra code is required. It acts like a background tab in a web browser. Scripts and other content are suspended, but they're resumed as soon as it becomes visible again. You can't send messages to a hidden web view, however, even when that's enabled. Well, that's a little annoying because you might want to catch an edit. We can try it. I mean, see what that does, I suppose. Let's just give it a quick check. I don't mind this right now, but yeah, I would want to save data to state every time you check the box. Like, I'm trying to think if that's even, I suppose, yeah, if you go away and come back. I mean, this is all about going away and coming back when you're, and like how many resources do you want to spare for that? And I'm like, is that really such a big deal, you know, to do that? I don't know. So where's our web view? Let's try it and see what it does. Just do a reload. Boom. All right. Now, if I say heat, I go away and come back. You see, it does rebuild it, even though I set that retain context when hidden stuff. But the question is, like, how much context are we talking about? What is the context that is retained, and what are we talking about? Like, it definitely rebuilt it. Boom. It didn't maintain the filter, which I didn't expect it to, because, well, I haven't set it in the state, first of all. Save data to state every time you change the filter. Let's try. Let's see what that looks like. Init filter val will come from the state. So it automatically does that for us. Show comments automatically does that for us. Right, apply show comments. Oh, right, I forgot. And this is a question of, do you want to show? Yes, I do. Right. E.target. I think you can also just say this here. But I'll find out in a second, that's for sure. And so the only other thing I would do here is save data to state, which hopefully, because it hasn't changed the data, will be like, oh, nothing to do for that. I don't know. We'll see. It's probably pretty quick. Let's see. Reload. See how fast the show comments box behaves, just if it does anything differently. And of course we'll scroll down, so just in case. So doesn't seem to be, well, also doesn't seem to be showing hiding comments at the moment either. Where is our console? What's going on? Cannot read properties of HTML element at line 100. Whoops. Is checked, is that what it's trying to say? It doesn't like my... Oh, of course. That's what I meant to say. That's what I meant to say the whole time. Okay, keep forgetting jQuery. What's jQuery and what's not? Yeah, it's fast. But also, again, it only hides them but never shows them. Hello. This dot target. Oh, maybe this dot target. I don't know. What is this supposed to be? Reload. Once again. Hey. Oh, hey. What? It's completely backwards. Show. Find comment. Hide. Not show. Show is checked, right? Yes. Is checked. What am I missing here? Oh, nothing. They show. My brain is backwards today. Here we go. Okay. Hey, you think these live streams aren't special because I do them so often? Well, they are. They're super special. This particular one is historic because this is the first time this has ever existed, you know, and it's a pretty cool thing, I think, you know, to be able to take what is initially just a big old ad hoc mess and try to wrangle it into something beautiful and elegant, or at least useful. It's at least manageable. I mean, it's hard to get, there's so many damn options now. It's ridiculous. I'd like to almost like just start over, man, but you know, you can't. This thing has a life of its own. Okay, next on the big list. Make sure that things like, well, we did that retain context. We'll look at kept the checkbox, but I don't think that's part of, oh, well, that's just restoring state. It is restoring the state, which is nice. So I think we may have that working now. Oh, I didn't have it save the state when you typed in that, though. And also, it seems like maybe the checkbox was checked and then it went away. I thought that part we at least saved. We did, but it's not being applied. Okay. So that's one of the things if we say, oh, that's why I created that thing in the first place. Apply show comments show. Well, guess what? This needs to go, I guess, if I remember rightly, well, I guess I can call it. Let's try. We'll just call apply show comments on that. Right. Filter show. Filter val, filter terms. Yeah, so in essence, when we're initializing it, it's before the form has been created, so it actually doesn't make sense to apply it here. It would make more sense to just have all comments hide without using this method. Just use a single class on everything. I know you've been yelling at me already. Why aren't you just using a single class to show comments and put it on the body? What's wrong with you? I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't understand what's wrong with me. I'm sorry. But I'll fix it. I'll fix it. That part I can do, because that's already there. But yeah, apply show comments. Too much. This is silly. Body, toggle class, hide comments. Or show comments or something. I guess hide comments, not show. Cool. Save data to state. Okay, good. Meanwhile, Q. Mm-hmm. Apply show comments, right. Okay. And apply filter, please. Where'd that go? There you are. I feel like these should be hanging out together. And there's the rebuild of the form. Apply the comment checkbox by hiding comments. Right. Meanwhile, CSS. Yes, we have this class called div comment. And we'll stick that at the bottom. Display none. Hide comments on anything. Display none. Not just the body, but yeah. We could just do it on the form, I suppose. In case there's other reasons, but yeah, form div. And a reload. Let's see where we're at. Alright. Oh, good. I still haven't initialized it, however, when it first loads, it should be based on, well, it should be based on the saved state, so I mean, that definitely probably, oh shit. Show is not defined in 276, whoops. What did I call it? Something else. Filter.show. Set comments, filter.show, please. Okay. So we go, we come back. They're still showing. We go, we come back. They're still hidden. Good. We say heat. We go, we come back. It still says no. It's gone. Damn it. Doesn't remember that. It just shows that's working. But if I do this and they come back and it, yeah, so it's still hidden. But yeah, it didn't keep our our filter because, oh, I still haven't set it to remember that. Because that's a lot of saving every time you do things. But yeah, we'll do window filter terms equals terms. Saves data to state. Oh, I don't know. Let me see. I guess. We're keeping a few things around besides data. It's all data, but you know what I mean. All right. That's mucho better. Heat, go away, come back, no comments, still says heat. I wonder what the comment checkbox was unchecked that time. Was that normal? Or was it restoring state? That's possible, actually. If I did a reload, it just had some state to throw at it. No way. It's got some state when I do a reload. Oh, you know, it's because of that retain state thing that I tried. It's actually taking effect now. That's what's going on there. It's actually sending the data. Let me see if that's the case. Boom, activating, run command, blah. Here it is, rebuild config form with text. Oh, okay, well it is building with text. I don't know. Oh well, anyway, let's try splitting it and see what we get. All right. Heat. Show. Right, this one gets its own. We'll say, oh, I don't know. Something else. What should I say? Board. Open board. Look, there's a couple places where board. So this one has heat. That one has board. That retains heat. Can I open another tab here? I guess I could if I did something like split down. Oh, no. Interesting. I guess there's a way I could probably drag it down here. There we go. Hey, board. Still says show. Let's see. Now it's not. Okay, heat, showing, hiding. Yeah, they've each got their own state. That's much better. That wasn't so hard. Wow. Okay. Again, snappy. Okay, next thing. We really need to do something about how many bloody options there are, and the behavior of the form is generally pretty good at this point. Even though it is a bit slow on the redraw. It's possible that I can optimize that more just by continuing to refine, being probably pretty sloppy right now. So here we go. Like there are better ways to filter through data, right? So the next thing I have is I've actually gone through a process of gathering the conditions and doing at least enough to indent them. So I was going to put a depth field and use that to set a class on the line, the whole line. So basically ID is that, and then a class line, and then I would say something like if depth is greater than 0, set a depth as well. So we can do that. If depth, and that would actually be info.depth. line div, add class. And actually, I'm just going to call it D with a number. And then we'll just make some stuff. Oh, and also the dirty flag will be interesting too. I might want to use that as well. Although, again, the dirty flag is unreliable. It's only reliable while you're editing and not, and there's no reload of the data of the, from text. As long as there's no reload from the text, your dirty information will still be good. And so I could also do if info.dirty false. And we'll just make that if info dot dirty. Simple enough. And then for styling it, I guess I'll just mark dirty things in some other color. Blue, I guess. Let's see, we're looking at the config form text. I don't think I'm specifying color here, so that might be okay. So it won't jump out, but it'll be slightly better. And the thing is also, you gotta make thing dirty after you've clicked on it. Unless there's like a way I could keep the original value, that might be a good way to do it. Like if it doesn't equal the original value, then it's dirty. It can become undirtified. I don't know exactly how you do that, but also, I don't know, if you have a dirty flag and then you say what it was before, and then someone like saves and loads, and I don't know, I could do that, I suppose. I'll just do something where I say value and dirty is true. So here you could do something like this. If field's dirty, doesn't equal undefined, then let's do some things. I could just do this. If it's dirty, then we can work with it. Oh, well, I guess I have to say not undefined, otherwise if it doesn't exist, it'll get mad at me. Pretty sure. It's when you're being strict, it's like it'll be mad if there's no such field. So let's see, if field's dirty doesn't equal undefined. I guess I'll just deal with it this way. If field's dirty, then original enabled. So yeah, if it's already dirty, it'll like basically keep track of, it'll just remember the original values. So yeah, it's going to do something like, if it is undefined, or feels dirty equals false, then right, and then so if it was false, then you just say you got to save them. Otherwise, we know we're already dirty. So if it's undefined or false, then that, otherwise it must be defined and true. So if we return to the original values, then we can do this. If that's true, it's false. And we can also delete fields or ridge if we want. I think that's cool, right? Think of any other good logic here? And right, so if it's already dirty, then we don't have to worry about it. But if it's not, then we got to set it dirty. There, and then you've probably seen this pattern before. I'm sure it's common. All right. Trying to think if commit change needs to return the dirtiness thing. It might not hurt. Either way, it's going to have the field at this point. Okay, mark them dirty. Let's see, so once we've got this commit change thing, apply enable change, apply value change, handle checkbox. handle edit. Oh, that's interesting. Can't really do it there because it's delayed. There's a delay. So when we have a delay, how do we deal with that? Apply value change. It seems like it would have to happen. The class happening stuff is going to have to happen up in there, all up in there. So the thing is, we don't know the item. We haven't attached the item to the data structure. That's one of the things that I haven't done, but it could certainly be done as part of building the form. It should put the item on the structure. So let's see, I did actually put it on the, where did I put it? Each item is actually on the div or the label. Yeah, it's on the div, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's on the line div. Yeah, so we just have to go to the line div of the item to get the item. But could it also be on the data? That we put the data point to the line div? That makes some sense. Let's try that. Yeah. So down here we have line div info ref equals info. Oh yeah, well, how about info dot div equals line div, yo. How do you like that? Keep references between item info and its line div. Boom. That's good. And then we append it. So that's good. Now I have everything I need. My info actually has a reference to the div. Although I don't know what's going to happen when that gets sent over. Like, what happens if you rebuild the form? Oh, I guess it only makes sense within this context here. I'm trying to think if there's a way I would just use, like, make a structure that just look it up instead, div by name or something, but I just don't see that. It's so much more convenient to have the div just reference right there in the data. And I don't know what's going to happen. Like, what would does it serialize the div when it gets sent over? Like, what's going to happen as far as that goes now that I've done that? I'm not sure. I guess we'll find out. The next thing is I just want to apply the dirty bit. So I want to apply the dirty bit. So we have apply commit change. So here we have fields dirty, return. And I guess we'll not be using that. We'll instead set the dirty up here. I think I should probably do something like this. And store line div 0, the actual DOM element rather than a jQuery object containing the DOM element. Not that, I mean, it's just an array with the DOM element in it. It's the only difference. So, plus it remembers that it's a jQuery. So I'm not sure. We can try this and see. So where are we at? Fields div, toggle class, right. dirty, according to fields dirty. There, now, yeah, it actually has it, so we assume, yeah, commit change should have it, so let's reload. Let's see if everything appears dirty. Oh, it's not blue. But does it have the class on it? Let's take a look. Oh, there's something happening. Failed to execute post message. Div element could not be cloned. Isn't that funny? So when we send the message, we have to actually temporarily, yeah, we can't put it there. Isn't that funny? We have to use a different method instead. So that's funny. That's really funny. Okay, good. That's smart though that it knows that. It knows it couldn't clone the div element, which is a nice warning. Thank you. Thank you, HTML people, browser people. Here we are, 8 o'clock. I haven't had dinner yet, so, or even breakfast. This is my breakfast right now. Feeling it a little bit as we get into this. I'm like, do I have enough brain? Might have to get some, get a smoothie and some kombucha or something. I don't know. Okay, as we look at this, the dirty part is clever, but not the way I want to do it. So instead of that, trying to think if there's an easy way I can look them up. Because they don't have, I guess I could look them up by SID. That makes the most sense. Yes, I like it. Should I put it on the window? Just window blah info, just like stick it in there. Because it is built into the form. It does need to be rebuilt from the data, so it should go away when the window goes away. So I'm thinking window dot, I mean, maybe I can use the name of the option and do it that way. Oh yeah, you know, actually, nah. What is the names I put on them anyway? Like as far as this whole div is called, yeah, it does have a name on it, show boot screen. So they are uniquely named, but they're not completely uniquely named yet. Like if there is more than one of the same thing in the group, it will screw it up. So I gotta be careful about that. Or in the whole window, I should say, in the whole screen, because they're IDs, not classes. So yeah, the IDs are by name right now. So I think I'll just go with storing by SID, I think, something like this. Window, div refs, I don't know. Fields SID, it's be an array. And we'll use the SID. Toggle class, etc. So, okay, let's see if that works. So where did I say div equals? Down here. Window dot div refs. Info dot SID. And maybe I should use the SID more, because that's totally unique. Equals line div 0. There you go. And then when we start this whole form, I should just do it maybe if I have the info already. Oh yeah, I guess, well, screw it. Here we go, just do it this way. Right at the top. Rebuild configure form equals nothing. Window dot div ref equals nothing. There. Supposedly that'll work. Now we switch away, we come back. No complaints. It still works. Now for the dirty part. Does the dirtiness work? No. But we're not getting any complaints from the console. So let's take a look and see what's going on with that. Is it in any way dirty? It's disabled. That's nice. But yeah, it's not considered to be a dirty. A dirty. Let's find out why. Okay, so that's good. Fields dirty is true. Okay, let's put in some logging. What do you say? Okay. Okay. Sign, etc. Opt-ref the option to update the fields to replace. Oh, it may be opt-ref is actually the problem here. That makes more sense, doesn't it? If fields original value, opt-ref original value equals fields and equals fields, opt-ref, delete opt-ref. Assign the new fields, opt-ref, and opt-ref dirty. There. I think we've gotten somewhere. Now that I know what I'm doing, sort of. Okay, boot screen. Console. I'm consoled. Hey, it turned blue for a half a second. Then what happened? Got a message. Update. But we ignored it, right? We got another one. Update again. We got 2 update messages. So I think that's part of one of the issues I was having. Is sometimes I get 2 the first time, but then after that I don't. So now it says it's dirty, which it's not. But now it should be not dirty. When I check it back and forth, it should know what's going on. So yeah, here you see it's not rebuilding. It's setting the dirty flag, but then after that, nothing. Got a message. All right, let's figure that out. Okay, so if dirty is undefined or false, then we set the dirty flag, which we saw. Else, and so if these 2 things are the same, oh, it may be that the fields don't contain anything related to the value, and therefore I need to check that. So let's do that. If the value is undefined or it equals the original value, and same deal, enabled, then we do it. Okay. Logic, man, I should have this down by now. I even took logic in high school, like woofs and proofs, the whole deal. Okay, see how that did a rebuild with text? What's up with that? Got 2 messages. You saw it, you saw it. Is it because I had 2 of these open that I got 2 messages? Let's find out. No, I'm not going to save it. Alright, so we open up one, all normal and stuff. We press this. Ah, we did, we got 2 messages. Look at that. After this, we should only get 1 though. Well, you'll notice that, yeah, I mean, at least with 2, it's like, I don't know. It's weird though that it did it keep its state or not? Look at that, it's dirty. It's not dirty. It's dirty, it's dirty. Hey, see, they all remember their original value now. How about that? That's nice. Now the only other thing is if I save, I have to remember that I saved. Oh, and look at that, it does get a message when you save. It automatically rebuilds the form. But it also gets, it seems to be getting 2 messages in that case too. No? What do I do? 2 messages, look at that, that's weird. It's still getting 2 messages, what the hell? Two? But just 1. And now just 1 again. But again, it's 2 after I save. What if I do a save right now? Save. 2. Because I'm not sure why. But yeah, sure enough, it does send 2, which is very strange. Why do you suppose that is, folks? What would you guess? Only the VS Code people know. I guess I could look at the stack, I suppose, and figure out maybe where it's getting it from. But it'd be a deep stack, right? It'd be like, oof, really deep stack. And then also, like, I have to kind of look at where it's being sent from. Well, I guess I can look where it's being sent from again. So we have this thing where it says if the document URI is the document URI, then on did change text document. So yeah, these are where it's coming from. If I were to put that in, you'll see that when I reload, that's where it's coming from. So let's open that up. Boom. Got a message. Sure. So all normal so far. Now, boom, commit change. What? On did change, on did change. Yep, sure enough, I got notifications about it. But after that, only one notification, which I can ignore. So that's peculiar? If that's always the case, I mean, I can work with it. I can make like a thing that says, oh, well, just always ignore the first two messages. Set that to 2, use it, and we'll decrement it each time. But even, yeah, when I switch back, it does the same thing. I get 2 messages. That's a little annoying. That's a little annoying. I thought I had that sorted. Why would I get more than one message on the first, just the first time? Do you suppose it's because, I don't know. It's not like it's hanging around. Is it? Is it possible that something has to be done before? Well, let's see, I'm definitely doing this, and then it's calling update web view. So this should all be called after the web view is set up. But it's very possible that I have to do something like out in the open in my web view. In terms of setup rather than calling it, or it should be called immediately. We can certainly do that. I just have to change it slightly. We just put the HTML, we just put the script where it loads at the bottom of the page. And then we set this up to just run right away. Like that. Reload. Let's see if that makes any difference. In that sense, it would be like it's guaranteed to be ready to pick. It will have already done the setup for like receiving messages before other things start to run. And so if there's a message lingering around that it's missing, which would be strange, but I mean, it's always a possibility. Nope, still sending 2. On did change, on did change. And in this case I say, got a message, got a message. So it sends them almost simultaneously. Oh wait, it has it has content changes. That's interesting. That's a new piece that I didn't check before. Length 0. What? It's got, no way. What? It actually lists content changes? Well, the thing is, that's all well and good. What if I save this? What else did I get? Content changes none the second time, but and also the first time. So on a save, it doesn't care. Now, what if I go out externally and edit it? I'll need to do that, like, oh, I don't know, so. Bring it up in Sublime. And what if I go to show boot screen here, and I change it? What message will I get? A single message. Content changes. Lottie. It knows all the changes. It could send those instead of sending the whole document. .text. Which actually is interesting. It looks like there isn't even a document. Oh, there it is. Content changes 0 text. Where's the texty text, though? Oh, I see down here it does send that message. Wow, that's fascinating. Okay. UL file name. Oh, I think maybe you have to request it from use a function or whatever to get the text. Is that right? 2-string. Anyway, wow. Okay, I think I've got that worked out. I'm working on that bit here. That's problem that I had was not a problem. There were some warnings, but I think, I mean, I've done everything I know how to do. Everything they say you're supposed to do. So we'll get to that filtering stuff more soon. I just really want to get this bit sorted. So yeah, that's a big deal. So it sends it, but it has no content changes. It actually includes content changes, which is really fascinating. So I could look at the message that it's going to send for content changes, and if there's none, I can ignore them. Oh, what the heck? How does it know what I'm going to do before I even know what I'm going to do? Should I just go to each line and just type in if e, you know? What the hell? How does it know these things? Is it watching me? Jesus, that was crazy. That really freaks me out sometimes. I tell you, this Copilot knows before I do. Is it watching the amount of time that's passing and being like, I probably ran into this? It takes about 10 minutes to figure out for humans. Wow, okay, so now, no content changes, no sendy. Oh, that's so much booter. Got a message. Oh, it does send it though. Update with all the text. Well, of course I'm ignoring it. That's why it's not updating the screen after that in any other way. Wow, that's great. That makes things much more responsive. And who knew there apparently is some way known to the Copilot that I didn't know. Copilot, why didn't you tell me? I'm gonna ask Copilot for suggestions now. Like, could you give me some suggestions? I mean, I guess that's what it does as you're typing, but I'm like, could you give me some overarching suggestions to improve my code? You probably want this, buddy. You probably want that. I don't know, maybe there is some way. Hey, Copilot, would you do me a favor? Oh, look at all this. Holy crap. Copilot, notifications, feedback, reload. Oh wait, these are the things I can hide on my thing. Why do I have source control twice? Why? This one and this one. Warnings, I see. Wow, this is exciting. Okay, so yes, just change, look for the content changes. Okay. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And I could even just send the content changes. That would be neat. But of course, you're supposed to apply them to they've already been applied to the document. So it's like there's nothing to do with them except like you could look and say, hey, that must have been this thing that was affected. But so cool. Now it's marked as dirty. Now it's not. Now it is. Now I save. Oh. Now I've got to remember when I save, I'm going to get that message. So I might want to refresh dirty in that case. I got to figure out how I can tell that it's saved. Detect a save in some way. Document EOL1 is closed false, is dirty false. Maybe is dirty is how I can tell. I can just send a different message or send a different notification in that case for is dirty being false. Let's see what happens if I make the document dirty, and it will say, is it dirty? Oh, it might not. But yeah, this is how we'll find out. Okay, I put away Marlin. Hold on, come back, Marlin Firmware. What did I close it? Jeez. All right. Configuration. let's just go to change boot screen again. All right, we'll see whether it has that dirty flag set this time. Document is dirty false. No. It knows the language ID. That's interesting. Line count. URI. URI, man. MID. Prototype object. Okay. Version 15. Okay. Is untitled. Does have a file name. Content changes, of course. This is what changed. That's nice of it to do that. Gosh. So if it had if it's no content changes, it could do something like update the dirty flags for things, but I'm thinking like can I intercept save or just notice that you pressed save? Like that's the next thing I've got to figure out, because I think that's the only way I can do that. Detect, help. Custom editor detect save. I don't know how you do it. I don't see the word detect in there. I don't see it. Up, I'm getting notifications from DevTalk. What's up? Oh, yeah, we're commiserating about the different languages we love and hate, as you do. As you do. Apparently I got mentioned in a bug report. Yeah, I've been trying to help out a little bit with the bugs. But I got lost in this thing, so I'm sorry. There's, yeah, no, I don't want autosave, thank you. And yeah, it's based on custom editor API, which I've been through a couple times, but yeah, like save, implementing save and backing. Right, if I was going to write a custom editor provider, that's where I could maybe intercept that stuff. But I really like the using the text editor provider, and so I just need to be able to detect when it is saved, you know. Custom document content change event. Yeah, that's different. On did change custom document. Well, that's custom document. But there's going to be some kind of save event, maybe? Event? No. No save event. Wah. Not finding what I'm looking for. Saving. Here's one. When a user saves a custom editor, yeah, okay. But that's different. I want to somehow intercept the fact that it was being saved, or at least notice that it was saved, so that I can clear those dirty flags. But maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe keep the dirty flags even though, like, it's based on the last time, since the last time you opened it instead. Like, what if I go here and then I come back? Will the dirty flags be set? No. Also, did that not save properly? It did not. The data didn't update. That's peculiar. What's going on with that? Did I forget to save the data when you check the box? Pretty sure I'm saving the data. And yeah, I'm getting that document did change thing, which you want. Interesting. Well, let's see what happens again too. Well, that's interesting. Okay. So obviously, let's go and look at the file. Show boot screen is still commented out. Now it's still commented out. So it didn't actually have the effect I wanted. What's up with that? Um, and yet it's still sending messages back? What the heck, yo? On did change. Content changes. Hot end 0 SHC, what? That has nothing to do with this. Something freaky's happening here. Let's close these up for a minute. Is it possible that it was referring to a different, like got the two files mixed up or something? I don't know. It shouldn't have, obviously. Okay, resolve the custom text editor as you do. Created the file. That's commented out. It's been changed in the document file data. Now I press save, and yeah, now it's working. Okay. But if I open another one, okay, return to this. It still says. Now it says that it is not cool. I'm thinking it has something to do with the fact that I'm putting it on the window object, like I'm saving stuff in the window object. We can obviously check that as well. We can print out what's being saved in the window. So it could be, instead of saving in the window, I need to save it with like the title or something. Window dot divrefs. Yeah, I think that's how it works, right? Divrefs in window. Or is it something like that? In, is there any, if opt in window data, if foo in window data, what? Oh, okay. Reload. Uh-huh. Doesn't have divrefs yet. That one doesn't have divrefs yet. Now if we switch back, it does not have divrefs, or it would say so, right? So that has to be recreated each time it recreates the form, which is what happens when you go back here. It says issues, but I don't know what that's all about. A pager script is accessing at least one of these things. It's probably jQuery. jQuery is looking at the user agent, so I probably should use a newer version of jQuery. But, okay, so here's the question for you then. That one did mark that one properly dirty, and that one did mark that one properly dirty. But when we return, a couple of things happen. One is the data is not updated, and the dirty flags aren't available. Commit change, let's see. So yeah, that's just being strange. Meanwhile, let's see, if we just have the one thing open, let's see what we get here. The document is dirty, but the item is not sometimes. Okay, so yeah, when we return, the data is gone, so that's a little annoying. So we can't keep div refs, and I'm thinking, why don't we just use, instead of div refs, we'll just mark the divs with IDs. Make them easier to find, give them IDs with SIDs, and then we'll use those SIDs instead. Because I'm not using the other ones anyway, so it'll be fine. So let's do that. So line div, here it is. It's got an ID, and this is going to be, instead of name, we'll just use data.sid. And class line, so yeah. And then instead of window div refs, we don't need any of that. We can just get the div by ourselves. Div ref. Let's just make sure this is like not what we need. Right, so instead of window div refs, we just go div.sid dash optref sid. Yes. Oh, I guess it's ID, isn't it? Okay. Div refs. Window has div refs. No more. Okay, so now when we rebuild the form, we don't have to worry about dirty flags and stuff being in them. We just can apply them directly ourselves right here where it's being, when the form is being created. Oh, line div, where'd you go? There you are. Yep, yeah, there it is. It's already got dirty on it, so. Okay, am I missing anything else? Still not retaining its data though, that's annoying. How's that happening? It's toggling something correctly, but it's posting the message change, which is fine. It's supposed to save the data somewhere. Oh, wait. Save web view state? I did that. Yeah, so this is where it sets the state with the window filter and the data. the window.data. Again, I'm using window.data. I don't know if that's safe. But it's safe. It's been safe up to now. I mean, it's been behaving, but it may be that my changes are just not getting applied. Let's see. Optref, assign optref fields. Copy the values of all the owned properties from one or more objects to the target object, returning the target object. Save the web view state. Yes. Ignore the update. Post the message. And toggle the dirty class on the thing. So, we can do that up here, I guess, since we're dealing with dirty stuff. In this case, okay, what do you think? Dirty, false? The data just doesn't seem to be getting updated. That's what's annoying me. So when it goes to set the state, I'm going to make a note here. Okay, this is the worst kind of debugging, I swear. I'd love to be diving into the logic filtering next, but these little behavioral annoyances are annoying. So we got commit change, save web view state, set the dirty flag, it says. And now undo, right? Boom, clear dirty flag, save web view state. Etc. So it says it's saving the state. And yet, I come back and it's not set the state. Why? Could it be the pertinent thing where I said, well, preserve more state, let's turn that thing off. I heard it wasn't that great anyway. But yeah, when we create the web view, we give it some properties. Where is it? During web view. There it is. Retain context when hidden. How about not? Start over here. Clear. Okay, we got that. Save web view state. Thank you for doing that, I guess. Boom. Okay. Saved, it says. Oh, what the hell? I don't get it, man. What's going on? Okay, now we're gonna have to do some digging. Nope, those are not enabled. It says they are, but they are not. I have saved, and yet nope. So what's up? What's up with that? Yeah, now it's fine, but if I open up this other window, I think that's where it starts to get a little confused, and I think that has to do with the data. I betcha. it's like it's not even marking it as dirty anymore. It's being really strange. Likely because, well, it's hard to say. It still looks like the right file and stuff. Meh. Very annoyed. This was working a second ago. Well, let's take a look and see if any of our changes stand out as being dumb. I don't know if it'll be obvious, but we got rid of the filter saving, and now we're doing this other stuff. Well, I guess I did add a bunch of stuff to commit change. I gotta think about how that's interacting. Like if it's sending the data over, I wanna make sure I'm not like getting old data. Well, that's the thing, that's what it's for, right? I'm supposed to be saving the state, man. I hate speculating. I wanna know what's causing a problem. So I have the show comment stuff, apply, that's all good, that's simple. Save web view state again. Checking our dirty flags and okay. I'm not seeing too many things that are hugely different. I did do that thing where I changed when it loads, and I was thinking that might have some effect as well, so I should probably undo that little bit as well, and just let it load late instead. But yeah, it was part of trying to figure out when things were happening and could you make them run sooner. Yes, you can make them run sooner. Not always a good thing, apparently. Might not, but I don't know how much effect that had on this. I know I was hunting down one thing and ran into that, and so it's like maybe that was the source of it. Let's find out. Show boot screen. Show another screen. Return. Oh, it's still wrong. Okay. Let's not save in the window. Let's save locally in our own local variables. Oh, maybe I should use VW. Oh yeah, I don't have that. Window dot. Okay, so instead of window dot, let's call it data. Let's call it config data. And another one called config filter. Result index. Not sure if I need this one for any particular reason. sections. Let's see, is that all part of it? Yes. And then this result index thing, that's the only place it exists. Not sure why I need it, but it exists. No results based on this index. Oh, I see. Yeah. It's just being it's something that's incrementing every time. So yeah. Oops. Data. Hmm. Let's see where they're used. Oh, I see they're used here, but they're not actually, there's nothing being done with them. I remember why I had that. I was using it so I could organize them. So I'll keep them around. It might be useful. But okay. See if anything works or differently or better or worse, or I don't know at this point. Oh, look, I broke stuff. Good. 442. What'd I break? What'd I break? Oh, right. Is that really config? Was that window data and then it's changed to config data? What happened there? Config data equals extract config text. Where's that data from? Oh, it's probably because I was using window that it just recognized it by mistake. Well, I can't have mistakes. That's not good. Reload. Okay, so let's see. Pick a file, any file. Open up this one, make a change. Switch over. Does the change remain? No. That makes me mad. It doesn't make me, it should still be there. Come on. What the hell is going on? Oh, it's so annoying. Let's quit these apps here and start over just to be clean and neat. Yeah, okay. Jeez, what the heck? Ah, sorry, guys. It was one of those annoying days when nothing is going to work right. It even gives me that RPC error timeout stuff, which I've seen before and seems to be related to something screwy. But I'm not sure if this is like normal behavior or if I've somehow screwed up the app, but I quit it and restarted it, so presumably that should make it behave better. But I'm not seeing any other like notices here about like, you know, RPC and stuff. And also, I am saving the damn state. So what's up with that? Save web view state. Let me see. Maybe I'm saving it at the wrong point. Help. Config data. Filter. Config filter. I mean, does it even retain the filter now? As you switch window? I mean, I had it working a second ago. No. I had it working a second ago. And it's not even behaving either. All kinds of things are wrong. Let's see, line 295. Oh, okay. What? What was it before? It was like window.filter before, but config filter equals filter. I should say, you know, equals filter, init filter val, state.filter. I've been through this too many times here. Let's see. Edit view, here we are. Okay, good. Ignore update, false. Set filter. Bind to change the comment thing. Save web view state. Config data, config filter. Indeed, those should be the saved things. And it is being set at the time of, let's see, the field's being changed, presumably. Commit change. I guess I could, oh, you know what? Actually, I could add, well, I don't know, I guess dirty could be put into the fields. It makes kind of sense to just throw dirty in there, but okay. saw the blue showing up correctly. Oh, and I guess I'll use fields.dirty, and then post message change. Oh wait, I mean I could just post the fields, and that should be fine. Trying to think also what else. Oh no, it doesn't need the octref, but come to think of it, yeah. Oh, it has the name in there too. It has all the things. It has all the data it needs in the octref. So we know that works to a certain extent. Sometimes. Sometimes. So there's your enabled octref. Apply enable change. Apply value change. And again, it's definitely saving the web view state before. I mean, maybe it should do it before right when it posts the message after it. I don't know. Because like it has to be here after it's modified the thing. But let's do this much. Let's save web view state. What are you doing? Config data, config filter. Set state. It's all there, man. It's all there. All right, reloading. Let's see what's broken now. Still give me that RPC crap. Oh, something's broken. Unexpected unidentifier at 125. Oh. Typos. Come on, Copilot, you're supposed to tell me these things. All right, so boom, I clicked on it. It says it's an updated option. It's now enabled false, and it was enabled true, and it has no value, which is true. And that time it knows to make it not dirty anymore. So I mean, those particular things seem to work fine. It's just sending the message and updating the web view state. See what this looks like. It does have a document when I say window, but I wonder if it just refers to the web doc, standard. Maybe there's the body. Yeah, we're not talking about my document. So yeah, what is up? Disabled, enabled, enabled. So yeah, as long as I save and go, wait, what? Show custom. Why didn't you get that? I saved it, and I even saved it. But maybe if I do two things, it'll remember the last of the two. No. But it's it's definitely not picking it up from there. Also, it's not getting the saved state quite right. It shouldn't be dirty. Is there some... I'm not using any kind of dirty marker on the window either. This is all just trying to figure it out. Okay. If we take a break, I bet I'll figure it out right after the break. I'll probably like go in the other room, make a sandwich, and be like, oh, okay, I get it. I know what it is. But I don't. It's being very peculiar. I'm going to just review my changes and see if there's anything strange about them. I mean, I could... It understands how to deal with the change. It looks at the value, and it looks at the enabled state, and it does all the right things on the other side. So apply new filter. Terms equals terms. So in this case, I was calling instead set filter val. Well, that doesn't seem to make any difference to what's going on. But as far as saving the web view state, it's also not getting saved in the web view state. And I did turn off that bloody flag, so that's not, it can't be affecting it. Affecting it. Oh boy, oh, of course, now it's getting it from the other file, so it's all good, right? From the file, so it's all good, but yep, as soon as I come back, it has not updated the data. Somehow, it's not updated the data. It's also not giving me any kind of message when I come back, which is weird. I totally took out that flag. I'm sure I took out that flag. Yeah, when creating the window, it just does enable scripts and nothing else. And then it fills in the HTML, and that's it. Eight issues I don't want to know. Right, save web view state, but what about no messages? That's very strange. It's almost like it's supposed to be going somewhere, but they're not coming out here. Audit usage of user agent. Yeah, I know. Latest version, please. Download jQuery. Give me the latest one. What is it? Compressed production jQuery 360. Ah! Let's just stick that in the JavaScript folder and we'll try it. That instead of 331. Now, stop complaining about user agent. Oh, still? Damn it. Okay, well, can't get ahead of everything. I guess 360 is just going to have to do. Yeah, this is very much annoying me. I was thinking that the data being in the window was somehow polluting the two things, but now I'm very confused about what's going on. Especially not seeing more messages as I'm swapping between these. That is very peculiar. I expect to see messages. I mean, definitely things are happening, but what? Shouldn't it at the very least be saying restore state or whatever? Well, we can also look at the state. I mean, we certainly want to look at all of that kind of thing. So yeah, we got a state. You got a message. Here's your thing, and here's your state. Okay, got state. So we're getting state. It has all the info in it, but it also doesn't have the filter in it at all. Did we forget to put the filter in the state, or is it just, what's going on? State? Set state. It does have the filter when we save it, which we did. When do we save the state? Right there we did. Okay. And then we got it again. Hello. So we saved it, and then we got it, but it didn't have the filter in it. Okay. Now you're confusing me. That's the only place it ever happens, so what do you make of that? Config filter, well, of course it's empty at a certain point. I'm thinking maybe when I save the web view state, I should always save whatever's in the filter field and not worry about config filter the terms or whatever. Config filter. Filter, let's see, apply new filter, put the terms in the filter. Okay, so we have a filter, at least, you know, it's not just in the field. We save the web view state, so the filter goes in there. Well, we can certainly do this kind of thing. Okay. So at least it won't be completely ridiculous. So when we save the web view state, at first, I guess that makes sense that it'll be empty and all that, so. Switch away, return, and we got our filter. Enter some terms, do that, switch away, and we got a. What, no heat? You're kidding. That's broken. Something's broken. Because, yeah, no, wrong. Did I get results wrong or something? Apply filter. What did I do wrong there? Jeez. Apply filter. Terms, target. I know I didn't do anything weird here. Must be something else. Applied filter. It does say applied filter, right? When you type stuff in and such. It says save web view state, but it never says apply filter. Oh, well that's why. All right. Log. Where's that declared? Schema. Okay, fine. Huh. Well, at least the reload, it keeps it now. That was pretty intense. Why does that not... Oh, I took the class off. Ugh. I took that ID off of things. Oh, it's very bad, very bad. All right, let's get that ID back. I was using that. I don't know. That was maybe that's a bad way to do it. But that's where the search terms were coming from. It was like, hey, if anything's ID matches this, then it's probably a terrible way to do it. I know. So here we're building the form, and I know I keep breaking things, but I'm trying to get somewhere. I'm experimenting. Come on, let me experiment. There it is, line div. So it used to be name to ID. Yeah. And oh, I got an ID. I got an idea. Oh wait, no, maybe? Committing a change, toggle dirty on the thing that has that ID. So be it. It'll be a class now. Hope you're happy with that. All right. now it says heat. Now we're finding and hiding things. Okay, jeez. Now, what's broken? What's broken at this point? Oh, probably everything. But let's check and see if our behaviors are in any way better. Oh yeah, boy, I'm printing out a lot of things, aren't I? Let's turn off that verbosity for a minute. Keep things running quickly, please. Okay, at this point, switch. Got VS Code state, there it is, got the filter. There's your object, okay. Heat over here. Cat over here. Heat, cat, show, hide. Okay. All that is okay. Now, what about my other problem? Of which there are so many. Let's see. So if we do this, which now it's not marking it dirty. Hello. Jeeves, where are you? Clear dirty flag. Set dirty flag. All right, so it does set the dirty flag, but does not properly mark dirtiness. Let's see. SID optref SID. Okay, let's see what our classes look like. Div ID, oh, duh. Oh boy. I don't know, sometimes it's just neater to do these things the old way, but I don't know. The containment of these is kind of nice. Everything's in a string. I don't know, it makes more sense sometimes. I just don't know. It's a matter of styles. Oh crap, not again. Why do you keep showing me elements? I don't want to see elements. I don't want state. Okay, now we're seeing, oops, item is not defined at 345. What's it called then? Oh, info, Jesus. I gotta start calling things consistently. Info. What's an item? Item, item, item. I'm not really calling things item. I'm calling things info all the time. Info equals. Info is so boring. Let's call it item, even though item is also boring. Okay, once again, Show, now dirty. Oh, gone. What the hell? Got a message. So you got this message, which was what? Empty? That's strange. Right, updated option, boom, enabled false. Send that off. Save web view state, which should contain this data, having been changed to false. It's not making a copy of it, is it? No, I don't think so. We've seen it work before, so. Okay, then we receive a message that says, here's the text. What? But we ignore it, because that's what we're up to. We have that flag set. Meanwhile, content changes include the change we made, sent to us. Updated option, now enabled true. We received change text document, content changes, say you changed it to uncommented. And here's your text, which apparently, whatever it's sending to me is probably fine, I guess. I could copy it. Copy string contents, look at it and just see if it's got show boot screen enabled in contrast to what it would do. I guess it would be. Yeah, so it's enabled. So what if we then do this? Copy string contents. Sure enough, it's got the right everything. So all the things are in place to do it's doing the correct edit. The only other thing I need to check is like, what does the data look like when I switch away and return? So it should have show boot screen as currently disabled, but nope. It brings it in with show boot screen as enabled. So it's like I'm making changes to the data, but it's not the data I think I'm changing. Or it's not getting saved at the right time. Let's see what data it's saving. Should be config data, but config data, again, I'm not sure that that's getting updated. It's supposed to get updated here by well, yeah, as long as it gets set in opdraft, that should be updating the data right there. So it does say updated option, and it shows you what it updated, and then it should say And here we go again. Got a message. Click. Show boot screen is now disabled. Updated option. Yep, it's not enabled anymore. Save the web view state. Oh yeah, you say so? Enabled. Oh, it still got it true. Why? That's very strange. Oh, it's because I'm using a sign? I don't know. Is it because of optref? Optref. Line 0 info ref. It's supposed to really be changing the data itself. It was really working before. Great. I don't know what's going on now. Is it the info ref is screwy? Info here, in this case of a bool field, is info ref. Well, maybe it's because it's the bool field? I could try just putting this in. I don't think that's going to make a difference, but... Don't know. It was totally working before, man. That's what's got me. It's like, what did I do? Well, I've been moving things around, and that does have an effect, but... Enabled true. Yeah, it's still marked true when it should be false. That's very strange. I thought it would do the right thing. Okay, so what's with InfoRef then? Oh, equals item. What does item equal? Oh, it's a copy. It's a copy of a copy. So before so as I'm not meant to modify item. I'm meant rather to get the data. So actually it's data that I want. All right, that's all it was, I think. It's just, now it should be modifying the correct data. Did change text document, save web view state, here we go. Please, please. Yes, so now when I switch away, yes. All right, good, everything is where it should be. What an annoyance, man. Sorry about that. You can see why I'm getting through that. It's just hard to remember what's a reference and what isn't and what did I do. But yeah, previously I wanted to provide these defaults for missing things, and I was like, well, I'll just create a new array and splat them together and it will be fine. But yeah, instead of pointing to the thing I wanted to, I'm pointing to the new thing, which used to be called info. All right, data. And I wonder too if there's a way to like, I won't worry about it. So yeah, good. Everything has to point at the original data, otherwise what's the point? So I don't know if this hover behavior is cool. I think that's all right. I can kind of more quickly see which option I'm hovering on and which things go together. Like, oh, I could do like candy stripe lines, but then I have to redo them every time you do the filter. But I'm really glad this is now solid. Okay, let's put this in, let's commit this stuff. let's commit these changes, as crazy as they are. So let's get rid of that other version of jQuery. And where else are we referring to jQuery? I'm pretty sure I referred to it in a couple places in the code. Like web view as well. Let's double check. Hello. JS path 360. That's what I thought. 360. Okay, we're good. Gone. Hello? Is that part of edit view? Schema, prefs? Prefs, oh yeah, prefs, man, we cleaning this thing up. We don't need those prefs. Okay, that's where it was. Let's do this as a pre-update of update jQuery. 3.6, baby. Okay. Cleaning up these editors. So that, I think, is editor, 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 editor. Cool. Yeah. Well, it is what it is. We've lost track of all our changes now. So I'm going to take a momentary break and get a little food, maybe have a pay, and then we'll come back to this. This is we're just getting to the point of starting to be able to make some progress. So this would be a good point to stop at, and then I can start the next stream, and it'll be a much more compact, concise, and maybe even productive little session. So I'll be right back.